What up, YouTube? It's your boy, Detroit Love, with another video. We love our 3/4 scale arcade cabinets from Arcade 1UP. Now, Toyshock has introduced a 3/4 scale digital pinball machine, the Haunted House. This thing is worth taking a look at, guys. Got some great detail. Well made. Let's check this thing out together. Let's get it started. Toyshock is looking to do the same as Arcade 1UP as respect to retro gaming, but instead of arcade cabinets, they're looking to do this so with pinball, virtual pinball. So the question is, can Toyshock bring to market a $400 digital pinball machine that's worth playing, that people will enjoy? So the task that Toyshock has is to make a small enough package, put enough games in there. They have 12 Gottlieb titles in this thing. Can you take that fun excitement that people have with pinball, that's what's at the arcade, and allow that to be affordable and packaged such that people will enjoy it now in their homes? I think they've done a great job. I think they have definitely got a good start. Will there be some improvements? I'm sure, but I think they got a winner here. They have got to make this thing easier to assemble than IKEA furniture and the Arcade 1UP cabinet. So they've done a great job of packaging the components and minimizing the number of parts that need to be assembled. That Haunted House decal there on the plexiglass is strong. I've dropped that thing twice trying to get this thing assembled, not realizing that it just slides out, so you have to be careful with that. But it's just a few pieces to assemble. Great job. So taking a look at the cabinet before we start to put it together. So you got the power port there. These are the points where you screw the legs in. Just takes 2 bolts there. It was a lot of little, cosmetic things here, but those will be covered up with the legs, so no big deal. But everything is just constructed in one box. The screen is covered with plastic for shipping. You got that backboard, that connects on there. And you put the legs in, plug it up. I mean, you cannot get any simpler than that. I mean, nice quality, strong pieces here. No cheap stuff. So finally, it's time, after we examined everything, to just put this thing together. So I used some of the foam from the boxes to lay this thing down flat on the ground so that the glass wouldn't be touching the floor. And then these legs, it doesn't matter which one you put on. The leg has like a little metal piece that you just rest it on top of, or actually the bottom of the cabinet. It just sits there, and the holes just line up, and you just plug, screw in those bolts. Use the hex wrench to tighten it up. But real simple process, easy to do. The whole thing can be done with one person with not much effort. So this is definitely less time and effort to put together than the arcade one-up cabinets for sure. And to keep that price down where it's already assembled, and to keep this price down to $400, they've done a great job. And with quality equipment, this stuff is not plastic or thin wood. Everything is well made. Backboard, the back panel there is pretty solid as well. You just have to unscrew those two screws there to gain access to be able to plug in those 3 wires. There's 3 wires that connects everything from the main component to that backboard. You see the legs flare out to offer stability. Great cabinet. So the back is real simple. You can only put these cables in one way. Just have to take a look at them, glance at them, see where the tab is. The cables are short. That's the only complication of this portion at all. It's just you have to be able to get it in there and plug them up. 3 points. That's it. Now this glass it should have been in the first time, but it just slid out. It slid out twice, hit the ground, concrete floor, and didn't break. I'm so thankful. But I think they should have had like maybe a little piece of tape or something just to keep that thing from sliding out like that. And then it's just 4 twist bolts here. Bow. I think they're called the bow tie nuts or bolts, and you just twist those on till they're tight. No big deal, man. This thing is simple. 2 screws per leg, 4 of these little bolts, and then you screw these little screws in. They don't even take much. I almost could tighten it with my hands. 1.5 twist, and that thing's on. Then you just get the power cord plugged in the bottom where we saw that port was, and you're up and running. I mean, that is darn impressive to get this $400 machine assembled where you can put it together that quickly. All right, well, here was my mock-up. Compare to the real thing. So, they didn't give me all the dimensions. So, I was a little off. This body was a little wider. And the real thing, height, pretty much about the same. But it helped me make a decision on whether to buy or not, and it helped a few of you guys to do the same. So it did its job, because it let you know how it would compare to the arcade one-ups. We'll just take a look at the cabinet. For the most part, it's done well. There's a few things like this thing here. This piece of tape is literally holding this piece on there like they intended to cover it. Like this, behind here, it had some similar tape, but it got covered by a leg. This is exposed, and it's not to be covered with anything, so that's kind of weird. That's the only thing that I really see. This is bowed out a little bit there, but that's weird. It's gonna cause some problems at a later date. So it's still along the same lines of arcade one-up, where it's got some. Let's see. I'm afraid to take this tape off. Does this? See, it was like it's holding on this corner. leaving some little marks, tape marks there. So it's kind of weird that they would do that. And then the cover. Now I dropped this thing like twice onto a concrete floor, and it did not break, so it's pretty sturdy. There's the infamous huge bezel. Let's put this in its place. All right. Not sure where I'm gonna keep it, where I'm gonna place it, but for now, it's fine. Walk up. Buttons are right where they need to be. All right, let's turn it on. Power button is here. Oh, I gotta turn it on. Hey Google, turn the arcade on. All right, so maybe it was already on. Check that. There we go. Turn all these other sounds off. Haven't heard anything out of it so far. Press any button. There we go. So the yellow button is start. The blue is the option button. The red buttons are the navigation between tables. I'm not sure how you change the volume. It's done in the options. There's volume. Now, I've not played any of these games before. One thing that is very, very irritating about the Toyshock Haunted House pinball machine is some of the games, a couple of games that I've played, at least this one, I don't recall the other one, has a irritating buzz when you hold or press the flippers. That's crazy. Either one. And it definitely gets in the way of gameplay, for otherwise it adds that noise to the game for no reason. I can't recall. I think it was Black Hole, or it's one of these games that's near it. Let's try Black Hole. I can't remember. No, it's not Black Hole. It's one of these other games I've tried. I don't know if it's El Dorado One of the other games had it as well. Nope. Excuse me. I don't recall what the other game is. Corn nuts. Maybe it's Big Shot. I don't know. Yeah, it's Big Shot. And both of these games are very classic, old school looking, simple games, but this buzz is killing them. I just noticed this game, Haunted House, doesn't make that buzzing noise. See if I can change this volume. Yeah, this one doesn't make that buzzing noise. This game plays perfectly fine with no artificial hums. Oops. So the Haunted House doesn't make the buzzing sound at all. Unfortunately, let me get back. And it got this glue from that tape they had on this corner. I think that tape was for the styrofoam or something. So I gotta try and get that off there. It feels awful. No buzzing here either. But I didn't push the button. And there was a problem there. I hit the button. There's a real delay when this particular game shoots a ball. But I had the paddle malfunction.
See, time up. There's a time limit. Okay, so it didn't malfunction. There's some obvious timer that you have to live by on this game. So that's kind of weird. Let me go back to that game here. See if that buzzing is still there. Yep, it's clearly there. It's not as prominent when the volume's down, but it's clearly there. I hope they're like, what do you call it, a way to upgrade the firmware on these things, a way to determine some problems that exist like that. To me, this one feels the realest. The ball hits the little targets, and some of the other ones are a little weird. But this one I don't mind. If it wasn't for that silly buzzing.
So my first impressions of this cabinet, it is a well done product. A well done product. The cabinet is well made, strong, sturdy. It's easy to assemble. Don't require any tools other than that one hex wrench with a little screwdriver on the end of it. Doesn't take multiple people to put it together. So they've packaged it well. The games, I had never played any of these 12 games. I still hadn't played all 12, but there's definitely a mix of boards in there that would appeal to just about anybody. And so you won't get bored quickly because, you know, once with pinball, there's a strategy to it. And once you figure it out, and they actually have instructions and goals and objectives listed so you can actually take on the challenge and try to accomplish those goals versus just hitting the ball and trying to keep it from falling through the gap. But I definitely believe they're going to improve this as we go forward. Definitely going to have to address that bezel, even the screen size. But to be honest with you, once you're playing it, the bezel does disappear and the screen doesn't seem so small. It's a nice package. I mean, if you did nothing to it, if you modded nothing at all, it's definitely an enjoyable game or cabinet of games. Now, the old school ones that I listed, like Centigrade 37 and Big Shot, and those games have that buzz, which I verified online through our Facebook page that that's how it behaves on the real actual pinball game. So that's just part of the game. So that's the authentic feel of those games. I can personally do without that much authenticity. Boy, my voice is gone. But, you know, it's great. Could it use a larger screen? Of course. A smaller bezel, of course. Can it be made higher for people that's taller? Of course.
You can read the letters much better on this particular game.
So, what do you guys think? Is this something you can enjoy in your game room? I mean, as a child, you can enjoy it. As an adult, you can enjoy it. I'm 5'7" ish, and it's the perfect height for me. No need to adjust it, whether I'm sitting on the stool or standing up. It's the perfect height. For taller people, maybe you can get some leg extenders, but it works perfectly for me.
It's like the words are clear here, but then shoot again is terrible.
So, are you going to pick up your own copy? Have you gotten yours? Did you pre-order it and now you have it? Have you put it together? Do you agree it's easy to put together? Do you enjoy the games? Which are your favorite? Leave comments, man. Let me know that you guys are out there enjoying what I do. I enjoy making them for you guys. Hey, if this is your first time to my station, make sure you subscribe, like the video. I definitely appreciate that. Hey guys, I appreciate you. I'm going to just let this thing play out and you can just take a look at the gameplay. So guys, thank you for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, and until next time, I'll see you on the web.
So some games give 3 balls, some games give 5 balls. Here the name is being put up there on the board.
And I'm your host. Revive, my friends, to score the most. Shoot the ball.
Out the gate, I like this one. But the targets aren't as well defined in this game, but this game, I like the sound effects and well.